Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, it's me Gamerturk, and today we will talk about the recent trailer for Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris, finally officially revealing Sinon, Leafa, Silica and Lisbeth in the game, analyze the trailer as usual as we got a whole lot of incredible scenes to talk about, and we'll also talk about characters that have still not been properly revealed, like Edith from Alicization Rising Steel, who we know will be in the game, just not properly revealed in-game. Other main group characters like Klein and Egil, other side characters you have seen in War of Underworld Part 2 trailer already, alternative GGO characters and Fatal Bullet characters, that became a longer list than I intended it to. Anyways, buckle up, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more Sword Art Online stuff, because I know you'll forget to do it at the end of the video, and let's jump into the trailer. And by that, I mean we're really jumping into the trailer right now. If you want to see the uninterrupted trailer, you can click the icon on the top right to watch that before we get into things here. Okay, for starters, the trailer has a huge emphasis on Reona's Scarlet, and while certain portions of it may have been taken from the actual opening sequence, like the Licorice flower disintegrating or the layered shots of the main quartet, the majority of it is still very much a regular trailer. If anything, the trailer acts more like a lyrics video with the Japanese lyrics appearing on screen in a very stylized manner than an actual opening. Anyways, we open up with the Licorice flower almost like exploding in a sense with its petals, transitioning into the game logo, and this just immediately screams breaking the seal of the right eye to me in regards to Medina, of course. We knew from the Tokyo Game Show 2019 trailer that Medina was going to break her seal eventually, and with more things we will see later in the trailer, I feel like the link of the animation of the flower and the seal, that's quite clear to see. But since we got the lyrics translated as well, we can go a bit deeper. Right over this opening, the lyrics lead, "You turn around reaching for the past, you never can go back," which goes back to the previous trailer we had, with Medina weeping about something that she had done she cannot come back from. This is followed by clips from previous trailers, Kirito arriving in Underworld, meeting Yu-Gi-Oh, and in the ruined throne room with Medina, as she has followed her own path there, the visuals of the quartet layered over a variety of footage from the cathedral and the academy, and again, I'm fairly certain these overlays will be in the opening as well, the overlays themselves, not the backgrounds they have been laid over. It just reminds me a lot of the Lost Song opening in that way, with animation layers used similarly. I have to say, I love the shot here when Yujo is attacking Bakuli with his fake ice sword. His expression, he's not aggressive, he's genuinely worried and troubled. He's attacking his legendary hero after all, with a plan that is based on a gamble and nothing more. That expression really suits the moment, just yet another one of those instances where I prefer the animation in the game to what we got in the anime. That expression alone tells so much regarding Yu-Gi-Oh's feelings. Another one that sparks my attention in those flashes is the one right here, Kirito holding Medina in his arms, in a place where their address is cut loose, as you can see from the effects in the background. Now, we know from an earlier trailer that Kirito will take Medina's katana for an attack, which certainly comes after this scene. However, back then, I was thinking Kirito would be going against Hashirian, though as I made very clear in earlier videos, I was quite certain Hashirian would still not be the big baddie of the game. In this trailer, what follows this is that we see Quinella through Medina's eyes, who has triggered the seal of the right eye, considering one of the shots that appears shortly after. Based on prior trailers, we can assume Medina blows her seal in a completely different setting, something like a communion, while protecting the child behind her, so maybe this is her first encounter with the seal? And yes, I do believe this is in that exact same scene. We know Medina and Hashirian's goal is to resurrect the administrator after all, and it looks like they succeeded. Because if this was from the Human Realm arc portion, Quinella's backdrop would have been the walls of the central cathedral, with the void only visible through windows, but it's very clear that the empty void Kirito and Medina are in the previous screenshot is completely surrounded by the void. So yeah, it seems like they did actually succeed in their goal of resurrecting Quinella. Either way, too many assumptions here that get the timeline of things a little confusing overall, so I don't want to entangle things further here. One thing that clears some speculation regarding a certain scene here is that we actually see Yu-Gi-Oh with the seal of the right eye in Rayos and Humbert's room, so yeah, that kinda settles it. We're getting an adaptation of the scene in the game, despite being rumored to be dropped out due to the graphic scenes. Anyways, Hashirian is holding a glowing orb, which is never a good sign, but no, we do not know what the orb is. We see a shocked Medina, Yu-Gi-Oh going for a hug towards Kirito, which you can just stop at the right moment to live your own Kiryuji fantasies if you want. What follows next is just Alice being a fucking badass. Just look at that, she just bodies the entire flame burst from Quinella without any defensive tools. She doesn't even have her gauntlets just to protect Yu-Gi-Oh. That's an absolutely amazing scene. A couple more scenes passing by gets us to the juicy reveal portion of this trailer, with Kirito grabbing Leafa by the shoulders, obviously surprised at her arrival, though we knew she was going to appear, along with Sinon of course. They were part of an early key visual that Bandai Namco still did not officially share the full version of, though I'm sure we will see it this Saturday on the SAO stream. What we weren't expecting was this early of a reveal for Lisbeth and Silica, considering there is no War of Underworld going on, thus Asuna, Sinon and Leafa are not using super accounts. I thought the likes of Silica and Liz would be post-game characters, you know? The trio would use the STLs, Asuna on Ocean Turtle, Sinon and Leafa at the Roppongi branch of Wrath, since they were the only three that knew about what really happened to Kirito. But I guess the game is going along with the anime version where everyone knows everything because fuck it. Certainly not what I would have preferred, especially considering we have seen Lycoris adapt certain scenes much better than the anime did in the first place. But hey, I'll wait to experience the story first. I do have faith in Futami and Aquria. Silica appears to have a large book behind her and there is no Pina in sight, so Silica may be acting as a powerful sacred arts user, but who knows until the game comes out. I'm sure she'll have a trusted dagger at her side anyways. We get a close look at the Black Knight, not to be mistaken with the Dark Knights of the Dark Territory. We still don't know what role this Black Knight plays in Lycoris. We see the Integrity Knights jumping down from their dragons and magnificently land for the Integrity Knight money shot, which has received an addition compared to the previous trailer. Well, 4 additions. Fanatio's Whirling Blades are now there as well, but Edith is still nowhere in sight. But last but not least, possibly the biggest reveal of them all, we see Medina with a piety module sticking out of her head. There are obviously various implications to this. Maybe she did become an Integrity Knight, or maybe she had the piety module there all along, and it was indeed Quinella speaking to Medina at the beginning of the previous trailer. Maybe it was Hashirian who eventually got to her and knew how to create and use a piety module. But the trailer pretty much ends with that reveal, so let's talk about the characters that have not yet appeared. Starting with Edith Synthesis 10, the Alicization Rising Steel mobile game original character. Again, I still do feel like she won't be a part of the main campaign. She's probably gonna be one of those knights in Deep Freeze who was not yet awakened by the time, and will probably be brought out of Deep Freeze after the campaign as an unlockable character. Of course, that is just my personal guess. Nothing is preventing them from simply layering her out from the trailers and then layering her back in from the Integrity Knight Brigade shot like they did with Fanatio's Whirling Blades. Other core group characters, Klein and Egil, well, if Lisbeth and Silica are there, so should Klein and Egil. I personally was expecting everyone without an SDL to be post-game characters, but since it appears to not be the case, we may as well get those two in the game too. As you'll experience with War of Underworld Part 2, Underworld is not a pleasant place for those not ready for the ugly side of VR. Compared to Lisbeth and Silica, Klein and Egil are much more qualified to be a part of this journey without being mentally scarred for life, and War of Underworld not existing in the main game still does not change that fact. It's an ugly place. Sure, since War of Underworld is not happening in the main game, all 6 STLs can be utilized and that may be the limit, but I would have issues with the story if they decide to somehow push Lisbeth and Silica into Wrath territory. Although that last theory does have some merit as well, since the developers would likely want to shy away from implementing god accounts and their overpowered abilities and occupying the other two STLs before Gabriel and Wasago arrive, forces a possible War of Underworld adaptation into using the usual Hemispheres instead, as well as locking Gabe out from the reach of Vecta account. But again, so many different theories that I do not want to go further into. As for everybody else, I'm a bit skeptical. The core Gameverse cast, so Philiastria, Rain, at least those three, I can see being included along with Klein and Egil, of course. Yui is possibly a no-go because unlike Stre, she's not a player character, don't ask why, nobody knows. I don't see Premiere being a part of it, I can see Tia being a part of it. This part of the conversation simply boils down to who I can imagine as being a fighter character and who I can't imagine as one. And by fighter, I don't mean, oh, that character knows how to use a sword. As you'll see in War of Honor Part 2, it's about the mentality to, face these issues that Underworld has, not the skill itself. As for the Fatal Bullet cast, so OC, Kureha, Zeliska, Itsuki, they're kind of a mixed bunch. I can see Itsuki being involved because he is technically already involved, he is working for Wrath. I can see Zeliska being involved due to being a Zaskar employee and having some knowledge about the Seed Nexus, maybe, possibly. Original character and Kureha, I just don't see them appearing in the game unless we get War of Underworld as one of the DLCs. Simple as that really. Same goes for HGO cast since they have no real connection to Kirito and Ko as friends. But yeah, that covers everything I want to talk about in this video, so I will be taking my leave now. These unexpected news really destroys my schedule every single time when all I wanna do is finish my Sword Art Online Cordial Chords video so you can learn how Eiji and Kirito work together to help save Yuna. Anyways, I'll see you this Saturday after the SAO panel with Reki, Reona, Matsuoka, Futami and more, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to not miss any of those news on the SAO anime and Alicization Lycoris. A huge thanks to all my patrons and channel members as always, and until next time, stay cool.